Here we go. Welcome to the Interracial Couple. I'm Dee.
I'm Alan Cardan.
We are back, whether you want us to be here or not.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. So I think that if you're listening, then you probably want to be tuned in. So that's what's up. Yeah.
And if you're being forced to listen to this, welcome. Me too.
Yeah.
Pound me too. Anyway, so there's a few issues on the docket today we want to cover. First of all, the baby it's cold outside
Oh my
dispute.
goodness. Yeah, I'm so pissed about that whole thing. I just think it sounds so stupid. People are super upset about something that was incredibly empowering when it was written.
Sure.
And their lack of understanding basic communication and then turning into their feelings about it.
Oh, yeah.
Has turned me off to a point where I'm saying, finally, once again, I can say candidly, fuck your feelings.
For real. Well, and context. I've always been like, what does this mean? Oh, let's look at some context. And context seems to be a thing of the past these days because we're all just like really upset feeling-wise about shit. But again, the world doesn't care about your feelings, and it never will at all.
Well, your feelings are supposed to be an intangible thing that you're supposed to be able to deal with. And if they're being impacted in a super negative way, then, hey, express that and let's help.
Sure.
But, come on, man, you're not going to trash a good song. What did Dean Martin's daughter have to say about that?
Yeah. She was on one of my least favorite programs of all time, Fox and Friends, but she had a really good point about it, how, if her dad was alive, he'd essentially be super pissy with everybody being so sensitive about it.
There's nothing bad about that song, and it just breaks my heart. And I know my dad would be going insane right now. He would say, well, what's the matter with you? Get over it. It's just a fun song. Because he was so sweet anyways. He would never say anything bad.
Yeah.
He was a great guy, fun guy, nice. And he wouldn't want to do anything offensive. That wasn't Dean Martin.
Well, I'm sure he lubed a few women with drinks in his past, but we're going to overlook that because it's just about the song right now.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know what kind of guy that guy was, but the guys that he ran with certainly weren't the best guys.
Right.
So, know what I'm saying? I'm sure they did some wild shit.
But it goes back to, back then, that was a single woman at a dude's house. Her just being there was a type of feminism. Her taking control of her own body and deciding where she wanted to be.
I didn't think that you could do those things at the same time in that era. Kind of like you can't be an asshole and wear wrinkle-free khakis today. You just can't do those things at the same time. You couldn't be a woman and be at a man's house alone at the same time.
Right.
It's completely socially unacceptable. But having an opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to take control of my body. I'm going to take control of my situation.
Yes.
That out was provided. So.
Fucking context. Who needs it?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to play that song, and I'm going to play that song all of the time.
Oh, for real. Well, and that's my other thing. All these stations coming out, and they're like, we're not going to play this song. Listen to me. I work in radio. Songs get dropped off the library rotation all of the time. And guess what? We don't make a goddamn announcement about it. Nobody needs to know.
But it's for the better, right? Because we would fuck around and still be listening to Elvis, who, by the way, was an incredibly he was a high-selling artist, whether or not he stole his music.
And by high, we mean high.
As a duck.
Which is a thing I didn't know till today.
Yeah, a frozen duck. Yeah, straight up. A frozen duck was found on the top of Mount Everest. Ducks get high as a bitch.
High as hell.
It's wonderful. If you get high as a duck, you've done the right thing. It's not bad.
But I just go back to life. If you're living life right, you're gonna be uncomfortable every now and then. And if you're never uncomfortable, are you really experiencing your full range of emotions?
I would say get comfortable being uncomfortable.
For real.
In almost every situation, it's only going to help you grow.
Yes, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I thought, and getting... I was at an art show one time, and I remember people were mad because there were pubic hairs on the nude pictures. And I was like, so apparently, is that the difference between art and porn?
Pubes?
Is pubes?
Really? So then there's a lot of like 80s gay porn that was probably high art.
High-end art.
They shaved them twink boys they shaved off every hair, didn't they? They was running around looking like...
You'd have to send me those links.
Greased up pigs. Listen, man, it's a thing to see.
All right, so the other thing on the docket was revolving around the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, and which was one of my favorite movies I think I've seen in the last 5 years. So Bohemian Rhapsody is the most streamed song of the 20th century, 1.6 billion streams.
Are you kidding me?
Which is crazy. And if you watch the movie, you'll know that song was so unpopular. Everybody hated it until basically Wayne's World came out. And now that the movie came out, it's even bigger.
Yeah, Wayne's World, party on. Excellent. That was my shit, fool. I remember watching that with Garth, and so yeah, but nonetheless, Freddie would have been very excited about that.
Yeah, for real.
I think it's a real shame that he didn't get to see the explosion of what was really a labor of love for him.
Well, they were ahead of their time in so many ways, and I think that the explosion of Bohemian Rhapsody being one of the most streamed songs just shows.
Yo, that movie, so I didn't realize, because my mother used to make me listen. Well, not make me, right? I ain't gonna front. That's probably one of my mom's and I favorite songs, yo. Like, we listen to this thing all of the time, right? And I used to be able to sing all of the parts. Whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
Galileo.
Anyway. Look, so we went to see the movie, and I'm sitting there with my nieces, my nephews, and my mom. And totally teared up a bunch of times in that movie because it's really just a moving tribute to his life. And I hear that there's this consternation, that's a good word, about how gay the movie was,
right,
and that it wasn't gay enough.
Well, there was this whole thing. It was so crazy. So when it first came out, and I subscribe to a lot of different pages on my newsfeed just so I know what's going on in all these different worlds. And there were all these gay bloggers that were saying that Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, was straightwashed, is what they said.
Is that even a thing? Like, I mean, all right, so look.
It's a thing now.
Right, all right, okay. I can dig that.
Apparently.
So, like, you know what I'm saying? If it's whitewashed, it's straightwashed or whatever.
Right. But I felt like when I watched that movie, I was like, that's the gayest mofo I think I've ever seen on the big screen.
Yo, I was concerned. I was sitting there with my mother, my nieces, my nephews, my like, you know what I'm saying? It was a family thing.
For real.
And I'm watching this movie, and there were times I teared up. And there were times I was like, children shouldn't be watching this movie.
It was like when I watched Silence of the Lambs with my parents, and he was tucking his wiener, and he was like, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. And you're like, I shouldn't be watching this with my mom.
Yo, I'm not gonna say the movie was gayer than a bucket of dicks, but it was close.
Pretty gay.
It was a pretty gay movie, and it was also a really good story.
Well, and it was true to how he realized he was gay. You know, he was married to Mary for years, and when he came to her and said that he was bi, she was the one that was like, no, Freddie, you're gay.
You really like the boys.
You know, and that happened. Dude, listen to me. I hang out with a gaggle of lesbians all of the time, and 95% of them were married. Wow. To dudes before they realized they were gay. Like,
weren't you married or almost?
No, yeah, almost. I had a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more straight can you get than
that? So I totally believe that human relationships are not linear things, and that they don't fit into any kind of a box. When you try to put them in a box, you get into all kinds of ridiculous troubles.
For real.
That end with, like, the left trying to eat itself.
Which is what happens all of the time.
Right. Oppressed communities cannot afford to consistently attack individuals that are clearly on their side.
Sure.
When we have clear and present enemies.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, save your motherfucking anger and bitterness for the people who are trying to take away your marriage equality, your rights, and your freedoms.
Don't be mad at the people that are making a movie about a dude that actually makes being gay approachable. You know?
Right. Because it certainly wasn't supposed to be no family movie.
No. No. But I would let my kid watch that without a doubt. I mean, he's interested in rock bands and entertaining and all this stuff, and it would be a perfect movie for him to sit down and watch how this band work together as a unit. It was never about Freddie. It was never about Brian May. It was
so much fighting. They fought and then they always got back together, and it showed such unity.
Yeah.
And about how, like, you know, I don't know. I'm a big fan of that flick.
Well, and I loved how they were like, Queen is for the people that don't fit in with everybody else. You know, it's for the people that feel left out. Yeah.
Right. How many teeth did he have? Holy shit.
All of the teeth. So, Cannabis Corner, we're going to do a recipe challenge right now. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm making gumbo tonight. Jambalaya. I don't know which one of these is the right way to say it. If it's jambalaya or if it's gumbo or if it's jambalumbo. But I'm making this shit.
Well, you're in Wisconsin, so it's jambalaya.
Okay, jambalaya. This one is so. Speaking of the recipe challenge and the Cannabis Corner, these things are being brought to you by the Hemp House out in Deerfield. They've provided the CBD crystals for the recipes that we're going to make.
Brand new business.
Yeah, we're really excited about the things that they got going on out in Deerfield. You should check out their page and go visit Melissa and Brian out there. They're good people. And yeah, so anyway, jambalaya with CBD crystals.
What's your recipe?
Oh, dude, I make it. So I got all of the seasonings. I got a packet. What I did was I put all of my chicken thighs with 5.5 cups of water in a slow cooker, a bunch of seasoning packets and whatnot, because that's what it came with in the thing, seasoning packets, the crock pot mix. The only thing special about my gumbo is the chicken, the shrimp, and the sausage, and the CBD crystals, which will, gosh, get me full and mellow me out. So I'm stoked.
That's awesome. We'll have to post the recipe along with it. The challenge I'm going to bring with that is the Great Dane's releasing a CBD-infused beer, which is pretty awesome. It's going to be called the Green Glory CBD. It's an APA, and that gets released on Thursday, so it should be out by the time you hear this podcast. But I have a mushroom beer sauce that's pretty fantastic. It contains cream and beer, and really, what else do you need for something to be amazing?
Oh.
But I'm going to post the recipe for that. You just saute some mushrooms, onions, whatever you want. Add the beer, add the cream, stir. It's amazing. So we'll have that up for you. But seriously, if you're on a diet, it's not the recipe.
Yeah, this ain't for you. This ain't that. This ain't the keto joint.
Yo,
but this is what you do, right? Make these things, send us pictures, and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Or in the case of the Great Dane, go there, stop out, try it, and let us know.
Yeah, give us the beer review.
Yeah, let us know what you think about that.
For sure. And you met with Melissa Sargent. What were some of the things that you went over with her? This fits in the Cannabis Corner.
This is the Cannabis Corner. Medicine, normal, off the scales. I'm so excited. I met with Melissa Sargent. You know, the truth of the matter is we've really got to get our legislators behind her bill.
Sure.
We have several different bills that are going to be introduced in this next session that are going to be cannabis related. And I got to tell you that some of the ones that are coming from the right are really concerning. They're being really secretive about the way that those bills are put together. And we're hearing things like maybe THC lozenges or THC pills, like everything would be controlled by the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no.
And those aren't the kind of bills that we want. So we really got to support Melissa Sargent and her effort to get a really comprehensive medical and recreational bill put forward. Some of the things that she was talking about were like 6 plants per person as opposed to having a plant per household or per household limit. So let's say it's you and Christina, you can have 12 plants. Or
I don't know if that bitch needs 12 plants, dude.
That's a lot of plants, B. I already know it, right? Yeah, there'd be like expungement of criminal records.
Which is huge.
Yeah, that's huge in Melissa Sargent's bill. That's not going to be...
Well, and that's a lot more attainable with Schimmel out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the thing, right? What they do is they all get together, they put together these bills, and there's different bills that come out. They'll decide amongst themselves or see who has the most support to pass each bill in the legislative body. Well, we really need to kind of put pressure on our specific and individual assembly people to let them know that we need to support Melissa Sargent's bill.
Okay.
These guys have been in the assembly for a long time now, and she's been working on this for a long time. And because she continues to be the person to put it out, there may be a little consternation or these guys don't want to work with her and Chris Taylor because they're like super entrenched in their positions.
Yeah.
And these women have been at the forefront of this for a long time.
Sure.
So we got to put pressure on them to say, come out of your zones, work with these women that know what's going on. We don't want pharmaceutical companies controlling cannabis. We want the bill that Melissa puts up.
And if you're just getting into like activism and stuff, it's really easy. If you just Google like who is my state representative, it'll find it for you. It'll probably have you put in your zip code, whatever. But then it's real easy. You can email them, or like you can even call like Melissa Sargent's office, and they'll give you the information you need.
They are totally approachable.
Yep,
they
absolutely.
like to have visitors. Oh my God, these are good, and it's a fun time. Go up, dress up, go to Capitol, take a few pictures.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Maybe bump into somebody. It's a lot of fun.
Wear nice shoes.
Yeah, you gotta wear your.
Or just do it from your house in your PJs. You can do that too. Whatever your style is, man. But it definitely takes all of us getting involved and letting our representatives know. Back Melissa Sargent.
Back Melissa Sargent. Back that bill for
sure.
For
real. Where can people find more information about NORML and what's going on with that?
MadisonNormal.org, or you can look us up on our Facebook page. Just look up Madison NORML. We've got some really interesting town hall opportunities, some volunteering opportunities coming up, and we're kind of stoked about everything. We got to keep moving forward.
Yep, absolutely.
If we want the weeds.
Very cool. Well, thank you for listening to The Interracial Couple.
All right.